Fractions. Adding fractions and subtracting fractions. If you work with fractions, it's a long process. We do need to know the meaning of denominator, numerator, common denominator, and least common multiple. The difference between proper fraction, improper fraction, and a mixed number or a mixed number fraction. We have to be able to identify all these in fractions. Fraction. There's a whole number on top, the 3, and a whole number at the bottom, the 4. Here's another example. A whole number 5 on top, that's the numerator. The denominator is 6, the number at the bottom. In terms of the math, the numbers on top will multiply. The numbers at the bottom will divide. Example of different fractions. Proper fraction. 1 is on top, 2 is at the bottom. That means the number on top is smaller than the number at the bottom. Improper fraction. The number on top can be equal or greater than the number at the bottom. Like these are 3 halves. Mixed number fractions. That's a whole number attached to a fraction, like 5 and 6/7. Decimal equivalent. To get a decimal, you just divide the bottom number into the top number. 2 does not go into 1, that's a 0, then you put a decimal. Add a 0 to 1 to make it 10, 2 goes into 10.5. Like $0.50 is the same thing as 5 dimes or 50 cents. You can put as many zeros as you want after the 5. 3 halves, this second one, the proper fraction. 2 goes into 3 one time, 1 is left, you put a decimal. Add a 0 to the 1, make it 10, 2 goes into 10.5. It's like $1.50. You can add zeros, as many zeros as you want. The mixed fraction, 5 and 6/7. The 5 is a whole number, it stays the same, but the 6/7, you change it to a decimal, we divide 7 into 6, and we'll come up with decimal 857. There's so many other digits after that. We just want to use 3 digits here. That's good enough. To add fractions. If I was asked to add 2 and 3/4 plus 4 and 5/6 plus 7 and 7/8, you cannot add them as is. Why? Because the fractions have different names. They don't have a common multiple. We need to look for the common multiple of 4, 6, and 8. That means the first number that will appear on the 4 times table, 6 times table, and 8 times table. Now, the denominators. If you look at the denominator 4, 6, and 8, are they connected? Yes, they are connected. The numbers 4, 6, and 8 are all multiples of 2. 2 times 2 gives me 4. 2 times 3 gives me 6. 2 times 4 gives me 8. So they are all connected by the 2's. The largest denominator in this case is 8. So we chase the 8 times table till we get to a number that is suitable for all 4 of them. That's divisible by 4, 6, and 8. Here we go now to add our fractions. First, I need my common denominator. 8 times 1 is 8. 4 and 8 can divide into 8, but not the 6. So 8 can be a common denominator. 8 times 2 is 16. Same features as 4 and 8 will divide into 16, but 6 does not. Now when you go to the third one, 8 times 3 is 24. 4, 6, 8, they all can divide into 24 without a remainder. So 24 is our common denominator. Renaming fractions. To change fractions to a different name, you just use 1. 1 is the same thing, same number on top, same number at the bottom. So in this case, like $1 could be 2 50-cent pieces, or it could be 4 quarters, it could be 10 dimes, 20 nickels. 20 out of 20 is still 1. So the way we get to it, we go 4 times what gives us 24, 4 times 6. 6 become our renaming fraction. So there will be 6 on top, there will be 6 at the bottom. You notice we have to write it as a fraction. You can't just put a single 6. 6 times what gives us 24? 6 times 4. So 4 is our renaming tool. There will be 4 on top and a 4 at the bottom. 8 times what gives us 24? 3. So our renaming will be 3 on top, 3 at the bottom. Now we multiply the numerators and denominators. 3 times 6 is 18 on top. 4 times 6 is 24 at the bottom, which is my denominator, the common denominator we just found. The next fraction, 5 times 4 is 20. 6 times 4 is 24 at the bottom. The last fraction, 7 times 3 is 21. 8 times 3 is 24. So they're all 24ths, same name. So we now add 18 plus 20 plus 21 to give us 59. We can't leave it like that though. The 59 is much bigger than the 24. So we divide 24 into 59 to get whole numbers out of it. 24 goes into 59 2 times. Then we check. 2 times 24 is 48. So we've used 48 of those fractions. 11 is left. So I get 2, the whole number, and 11 24ths. The next step, we then add the 2 to the other whole numbers that we had originally. So we add the 2 to the 2, 4, and 7. Our answer will be 15 and 11 24ths. Now you notice this is a long process here. But if you change this to decimals, you can get your answer very quickly since you're using a calculator. 3 divided by 4 is decimal 75. So the first number we have will be 2 decimal 75 is a decimal. 5, 6, if you divide 5 into 6, you get decimal 8333333. I'm going to only use 3 digits. So it's 8, 4 decimal 833. 7 divided by 8 is decimal 875. So the last one will be 7 decimal 8. Then I add this, and there is my answer. 15 and 4 decimal 458. It's much quicker and much easier using decimals. Here's another example. 3 and 5/8 add to 11 and 3/5. 8ths and 5ths are different size fractions, so we can add them. So we need to get a common denominator. The one good thing here, 8 and 5, is there is no relation between 8 and 5. So we just multiply 5 times 8 gives us 40 to give us our least common multiple, or your denominator in this case. We got to rename. One thing with fractions is always top bottom times top bottom, at least for 2. If it's 3, then it will just be 3 pairs of top bottom times top bottom times top bottom. 8 times what gives us 45. 5 is our renaming too. 5 on top, 5 at the bottom. 5 times what gives us 48. 8 on top, renaming, 8 at the bottom. Now we multiply. Numerators. 5 times 5 is 25. 8 times 5 is 40. The second fraction at the bottom, 3 times 8, 24 for the numerator. 5 times 8, 40. Now they're all 40ths. So we add 25 plus 24 gives us 49 40ths. That's an improper fraction, so we divide 40 into 49, we get 1, a whole number 1, and 9 40ths. The 1 we added to the whole numbers, to the 3 and the 11. So the answer is 15 and 9 40ths. Decimals though, oh boy. Decimal 365 for 5/8. 3/5 is decimal 6. Then if I add that, I should come up with 15 decimal 225. 15 decimal 225. Okay.